Well, hello there. This is Jenine Marie. I'm glad to have you with me. Today, we're going to talk about relationship distance and emotional attachment, specifically how emotional attachment can be of assistance when there is a physical disconnect. So, if you're interested in this subject, please stick with me. Well, welcome back. I'm glad that you're here and stuck with me. I'm going to just put this disclaimer out there right now. I am struggling just a little bit still physically, and that might endure for a little while. I'm not really sure how long. So, anyway, please pardon me. But once I get something that kind of hits my higher mind and it seeps into my brain, I just can't let it go until I do it. So, here we are. How about that? We're going to talk about emotional attachment and what that means to us when there is a physical disconnect or a physical distance. I want to borrow from the psychology and also maybe some of the spirituality of Carl Jung. The man is brilliant in my world. I mean, he's not in the body anymore, but I know he's got to be buzzing around here somewhere. Distance and disconnect will not alone take away deep emotional attachment. And those are his words, not mine. I want to put this in the context of soul family and then very specifically soul coupling. You know, it's amazing. It is fireworks. It is surprise. It's like the universe just dresses up this beautiful gift, right? And boom, that gift is put into your world, and all of a sudden, your world is spinning. You have met this beautiful person, and you think that they're absolutely brilliant. And of course they are. They're a mirror of yourself, not in a bad way, but you start to see all the surprise and the synchronicities and the love, and you recognize the person from the inside out and not necessarily on the outside at first at all. But as you get to know that person, they become more and more endearing. And it's like the universe just decided on this very well orchestrated time, right? And it's such a surprise, and it feels so amazingly wonderful. Don't you love surprises? I do. I mean, not always when they scare me, but I always love a good present, you know? Who doesn't love a good present? But that's how it feels. It's like all of a sudden this gift is actually in your present. And I mean present moment. And how amazing is that? Discovery of one another is it's one of the greatest gifts in human existence besides just playing out their love. And, you know, it has everything to do with love. Love made us. Love created us. Love moves us. Love is a part of us. And it's the spark that lives within us. And when that love comes to a point in time when it draws the greatest love and reflection of yourself that possibly could happen, it's an amazing feeling. How could you not help but form an emotional attachment? And the more you get surprised, the more solidified those emotions become. And even during the darkest and most difficult moments, and there can be, and more than likely will be, very difficult moments, because it's not all about love, joy, let's skip together and, everything's great with the world for the rest of our life. It's about learning. It's about growing. And, I'm going to put this in a very childish, almost like way. It is about growing the heck up. And that's the part of it we don't like so much. But when we come to understand it, we love it a lot, because it brings out and births some of the greatest parts of ourselves and the greatest healing we've ever experienced from the inside out. It can reveal soul recognition. It can reveal things in us that we never realized were there, but it is there. It can reveal a love that we never thought we could ever feel or experience, but boom, there it is. And we're happy, and then not so much. So sometimes the emotion or the situation or the distance or whatever it might happen to be just becomes difficult. And so there is a physical separation, whether just a disconnect in connection or a complete all-out physical separation. But there's still the emotional attachment. And the emotional attachment can be rooted so deeply in the internal, landscape of each person that it's not so easy to just forget. We tell ourselves, oh, forget this. This is too hard. I don't want to do this. I don't want to try this. It's because, okay, maybe there are some disharmony things that are going on, or maybe life just doesn't afford for this new person to just enter into our lives. Maybe there are different situations we're already, committed to, involved with, and they're a part of our lives, and it gets complicated. And yet, we're being called upon to heal, to transform, to make some changes, to reveal, to mirror. And we want that because it's all about growing the heck up, really, isn't it? It's about growing up, and we want that, whether it's easy, whether it's difficult, no matter what package it comes in, we want to open the gift, because as hard as it can be, we want to grow in this life, or we're going to end up having to do this all over again. Do we really want to do that? I don't think so. Anyway, so those very deep emotional bonds can be very, very deeply and strictly woven into our inner world, because the roots start to grow deep when there is a love connection, and this will be when there's a spark connection, and this will be, the roots of the trees will go very, very deep into the landscape. And when that happens, now remember, this is all wrapped around with our emotions. When that happens, it's not so easy to emotionally disconnect and deal with all of that. Sometimes we want to, and we want to just untie the knots, and there is a way to do that if we want to be untied and, just detach. It can happen. But once again, there's a purpose for all things under heaven, right? So whatever heaven decided whatever the universe decided this is what is going to be, this has been written into our contract, and we're here to resolve all of this stuff. And so being untied and just saying, I wash my hands of this, is not really going to work out for us all that well. We can do it, but my suggestion is to work the way through it. And that means getting through some of the emotional stuff and learning what those emotions are trying to teach us. So during the disconnect, we're sitting there with our emotions and we're telling ourselves, oh, forget it. I just don't want to do this. And I can just forget all that. Forget these people, forget that person. I don't want to be involved with that. I'm going to go on with my life because, hey, I've got all this stuff in my life that I really want to do. I have this purpose in this world, right? And I want to do all this stuff. And I've got it rolling. And so I want to continue. And that might work for a little while. I'm pausing there. Let that soak in. It might just work for a time. But those emotions that we created, and if you saw my previous video, you know about the soul-connected trees and the soul ties with the roots that go very deep into the ground. By this time, we formed the roots, and they are in the middle of going very, very deep. And those roots contain the emotions that are all wrapped around with our purpose and the reason we're in this season. And maybe it's the fall and the leaves are starting to fall off those trees. Maybe it is the spring and the trees are growing. Okay, maybe it's the summer. We're feeling very scorched by everything about these trees. I mean, we could go through all the seasons, but regardless to what season it is, we have formed those ties, and they're not always a bad thing. I mean, we tend to talk about soul ties as things that we have to cut and sever and disconnect from. But if we just take a step back, and even if we don't, it will come back. Honey, they are still there. All those emotions that you formed, all those feelings, all that love, you can't just get rid of love. You can't dump it and say, that doesn't exist. It could be a friendship love. It can be a romantic love. It can be any type of love. Love is love. We tend to categorize it like that in this world. But from the eyes of God, love is love. Not just a noun, but an action word. We take it and we think that love's a noun. It just sits there. But love is an action word. It means, it's a verb, right? It means that there is something that has to go along with that feeling, that sense that we have. That connection, like I said, has a purpose and a passion. And our challenge is to get through some of that passion and emotion and process it and figure out why the disconnect happened. And are we afraid? Did it bring up some of our feelings of insufficiency? Like maybe we feel like we're not good enough. Maybe we feel like we're afraid of intimacy. And I don't just mean the physical type of intimacy, but I mean the deep type of intimacy that comes from deep communication. So, I mean, it could be a myriad of things. But whatever it happens to be, we have to deal with it. We have to. If we don't, we're going to go one more time around the mountain. and it might be with somebody else, we're going to discover that we have this emotional issue that's wrapped around intimacy and getting to know someone deeper. Or we have an issue that's wrapped around our physicality. Maybe there are some insecurities that we have carried with us and dealt with our entire lives. And we're together. Part of the purpose for maybe one of the two is to get through some of that physical feeling of not being good enough, or maybe just a general feeling of not being good enough. Or maybe it is difficult with love itself. Maybe you've been burned. Maybe, some of the romance in the past has caused you to feel like you don't do this stuff very well. Or the things start to go through your mind. You're bound to mess up this thing. So before you mess it up, let's just run away from it. Okay? And if we run away from it, then we don't have to deal with that. We don't have to tell anybody that we messed up with this. We don't have to reveal that thing. Whatever that thing is, it's looming at us, right? And according to Carl Jung, we separate physically, but the intensity of that emotion becomes bigger even the more we try to push it off and push it away, because what we try to push away comes at us more. And it's meant to. It says, look at me. Look at this. Look at it. And not just acknowledge that it's there, but confess it. God, this is what I have. This is what I'm dealing with. I couldn't even think about why I run so much. Why am I running from the connection that feels so beautiful and loving, and the universe bless me with this wonderful gift? But why can't I work this out? Why can't I deal with it? Why can't I reveal it? Why can't I talk about it? Why is this so significant? I mean, there is an umbrella of whys to answer. So much to think about, right? I mean, it sounds like too much work. Do we really, though, want to bury it in a grave and say, I will never resurrect this again. No one will ever do this to me again. No one's going to bring that out of me again. If I love this intensely again, I might get hurt. Well, you know what? You just might. Could happen. So, if you really want to get through it, the best thing to do is to get your shovel and go to that grave that you buried all this stuff into. You know it's there. It's not a surprise to you. It's there. And dig it up. One by one, shovel by shovel, get the dirt out of the way. Dig it up, honey. It's the only way that you're ever going to get past some of the fears. I mean, you will drag this corpse of fear or whatever it happens to be into every relationship in your life, and you probably have drug it along your entire life already. Do you want this thing hanging on your ankle? Please, let's get the key. Unlock the ankle monitor. And let's get through it, right? I mean, what is the worst that can happen if you confess that you have this issue that's going on that's caused you to turn in the other direction and run? Is it that someone won't accept you the way that you are? Or is it someone didn't accept you the way you are or the way you were? Think about that. The way you were. That in the past does not have to be given CPR and resuscitation and bring it into your present and have it a part of your future. Don't bring your past issues into the gift that you have now, because that's what the present is. It's a gift. And remember, this soul connection is a gift. It will make you dig up everything that you have. You will use that shovel, honey. You will use it because the emotional connection, the emotional depth, the emotional, I want to say ghost, is going to haunt you no matter how much you try to push it away. It will haunt you. And you know what? It's a blessing. It is a blessing. I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, because you know what? Once it comes out, once you dig that thing back up, I mean, it's no disguise now. But it's a blessing. And it's meant to be. And the greatest thing you can do for yourself, for your soul, is to process every single thing when it comes up. And the more you learn how to do that, and the more immediate it becomes, the easier it gets to just dig things up and let them out. And the next thing you know, you confess it with your mouth, either with God or even better, in the presence of God and in the presence of the one that caused you to run to begin with. Okay? You're afraid of this person because you think that their magnificence and this connection is so magnificent that there's only a matter of time. It's becoming deep, right? You're connecting so much that there's only a matter of time that things are going to come out and something is going to be revealed, and it's going to feel like a big uh-oh, and that burns, right? It touches that place inside of you that really, really burns. But it doesn't have to burn forever. It doesn't have to stay there forever. You might not have even known it was there. And then it's such a shock. Next thing you know, you're on the other side of the world, turning your cell phone off or whatever. So I said all of this not to be funny or, goofy. I always try to make things a little bit light because I don't want them to feel like they're so heavy that you don't want to listen. Because my whole purpose in life is to help people arise to the occasion, to help people ascend to a place in their life where they're growing and letting go of some of the hurts and stepping into their passion, and all of the things in life that they really want to do, their purpose, their passion, and take that passion and put it into their relationships, whether it's, friendship or a romantic one, whether it's marriage, whether it isn't, regardless to what it is. I want transformation for people the universe brings into my world. And I want transformation for myself. It's a hard thing to go through, especially going through a physical problem at the same time, because that's an additional challenge. And sometimes, more often than not, we develop those physical things because of the things that we have buried and we have refused to dig up. And I own that. I totally own that. That's one thing I don't mind telling anyone. See, I process that. I don't shrink back and say, oh, I can't reveal that I've got this. And the reason I have it is because I know I've gone through this, this, and this. The fear of exposure in that particular area is not so bad anymore because the sting has been taken out of it. It's God personified. We all have that spark of God, regardless to what we want to say. I'm taking religion out of this statement, and I just want to say we all have the spark of God. We all have consciousness. We all have the ability to be love. We all have the ability to take love and put it into action and to create. So where does that come from if we all have that? So we all have God, right? So, nobody can convince me otherwise. Whether I identify with this religion or that religion or no religion, we all have God and we all have love. We all have the capacity to heal one another through love. And this is where I want to get to. Put your heart in your hand and all of the aching that goes with it, and hand it to the one that God and the universe has gifted to you. And say, this is what I have. And it's hard to show you, but I am. Because out of all the people and the souls in the whole universe, God chose you. The universe chose you to be my special one to show this to. And I can do it because I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust God and the universe and the plan. It takes a lot sometimes to get to that trust. Trust, in my mind, has always been earned. We're all in a human body, but we can trust God. God is not a body. God is not a gender. God is spirit and God is love. So, number one, we can trust God. We can trust the heavens. We can trust the universe. The universe has been made standard. It is God gifted. And it has everything beautiful and perfect. So, out of all of the things that we have to learn to trust, you've got those down because those are given. Those are gifted. So learn to trust yourself and then learn to trust the one that the heavens have brought into your life to help you get to wherever it is you're going. And you know where that is. Number one, you're going to a healing place. I have a friend who used to take me on a meditation, a hypnosis journey to what she called the healing temple. Healing temple. And I loved to go there with her because whenever she took me there, I had peace. I had whatever I needed healed in my hand. And I could present it in a way and in a place that I knew I could trust. And I'm telling you this, you can learn to trust this process. So, if there is physical distance from the one that God journeyed into your life and you into theirs, that's okay. Let the emotional part burn just a little bit and bring you back to yourself. And when I say burn, I don't mean put you in so much agony that you can't stand yourself. I mean burn off the stuff. Jesus talked about burning off the chaff and burning off what doesn't belong there and allowing the good stuff to grow. We want the weeds to be blown away from our life, to be pulled up, completely uprooted and blown away in the wind. God will take them. He'll take your weeds. And I put persona on God. It's a habit sometimes. But God will take your weeds and return only the things that flower and blossom. God will take the ashes away and bring beauty back into those areas of your life. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to. After I told you all that, you don't have to believe me. Believe God. Believe the heavens. Believe your Creator. Believe the universe, however you want to look at it. Believe your angels. Believe the process. Trust the process. It's there for you as a gift, as a present for you to bring into your present. I'm going to end there. I'm losing my voice, my dear. I don't know. I'm trying very, very hard. I'm trusting my own process, and it's an emotional one. So if you would like to, send a prayer out for me. I would really appreciate that. And I would love to send a prayer out for you. Anytime, any place, anywhere, just ask. And I will always pray for you. So, a lot to think about. I hope that made sense. My brain, I don't know. I'm just going to put this out there. Ever since I had chemotherapy, it's like trying to get my brain cells to fire. It's just really, really crazy. I mean, crazy, making crazy. But I think I got through it. You think? I hope so. So I'm just going to say I'm signing off. I'm going to let you think about that, sort it out, listen to it again, make sense of it, and tell you that I'm so loving you from here. And go for the love that God has gifted you with. I can't say that enough. Have a really wonderful rest of the day. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.